Then he says, leaving off at nothing, absolutely nothing happens in God's world by mistake. God is totally, totally in control. And the very things that we're going through, addiction, God allowed. You know that? God allowed them trips to the penitentiary. Now, you know, I don't think he really meant for us to do it 5 times. I don't think he meant for us to be in that 10th treatment center. I think the first one was all him. And everything after that was me. You know? For real.
Don't pass the test, you gotta take it again.
You gotta keep taking it. But you know what? That one's on you. You know, the first one was on him. But after that, yeah, that's all you.
Next step could be death. You know?
Hey, that's all left for us. We done been in jail. We done been in many different kinds of institutions. Death is the last thing. What I don't want to do is be the one that's downtown hollering and you know what I'm saying, living in that dereliction and degradation for the rest of their lives. Check this out. Not even knowing that the very thing that got them there don't even exist no more in their world. They could probably care less about some crack or meth or whatever it is that got them in the situation they in now. They could care less. Man, I'd be like, man, just take me out. You know what I'm saying? Just take me out.
That's scary to see too.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Think about it, that they're not even doing the drugs no more.
Right. He says, until I could accept my alcoholism, I could not stay sober. Until he could accept the fact that he was an addict, the fact that he was powerless, the fact that his life was unmanageable, he could not stay clean.
Impossible.
And we got to figure out what aspect of our addiction do we not want to get some acceptance about? And that's a hard one. Think about that for real. Because that's going to require me to do some things. It's going to require me sometimes to stand alone. When everybody else is going left and I gotta go right. Being the one that's known as the one that don't drink. Being as the one that's known, you know, to disappear and all of that. You got to get some acceptance about this. That I cannot do the things that I used to do. That takes some acceptance. That actually takes grieving some of that stuff. You got to grieve it. Because anything that you do not properly grieve, you what? You return to it. You'll go back to it trying to find some satisfaction in the very thing that can't bring me satisfaction. Yeah, as a dog returns to his vomit and a hog to the hog pen, that be us. Trying to find some acceptance. Whether it be this, we go around them same people that know we can't drink and try to drink in front of them just to show them that I can. Told y'all that program helped me. He says, until I could accept my alcoholism, I could not stay sober unless I accept life. Check this out. Not when I feel like it, not when life suits me, not when everything is going my way, but completely on life's terms. You know what's been the hardest thing for me to accept being clean these few years? Is that some of the problems that I've had to endure were problems that I did not cause. You know what happened? You know what happened? Life just showed up. And the thing about life, Sean, is that it never knocks and asks, can it come in? the jump out boys. Shoot, they come through windows, the roof, shoot, whatever door. You see what I'm saying? They just, like, hey, where this come from? Y'all ain't never been kicked in on?
Yeah.
I never have. I'm glad I haven't either. That probably was scared to live.
I
How to? I probably had a heart attack and just died right there. But think about that, man. Think about that. Unless I accept life completely on life terms. And there's some things that has happened in our life. Not everything. I've caused most of them. Yeah. You know, I've caused most of my own problems. But there are some things where life just showed up. Now the question is this. What are you going to do, Kyle, when life shows up and you had nothing to do with it? Mama passed away. The dog died. My house burned down. God forbid that it don't. You see what I'm saying? You know, I don't know, electrical fire. I don't know. But there's some things that we gonna have to come to grips with. You know, we don't like it, but we kind of all right with our own mess. You know, after we finally stop rationalizing, justifying, trying to manipulate the situation, and we see and willing to admit the part that we already know we played in it, it becomes a little easier to accept the fact of the situation that I'm in. You know, at the end of the day, I know I created this one. I caused this one, okay. But what about when life just kind of shows up without your asking? Huh? Without your approval, it just show up. And you sitting here with a hand. How many dominoes? 7?
7 and 9.
We'll play 9. And I got every double in my hand. How you gonna play the hand? No. You just gotta play the hand. The fact that whether I lose or not don't matter. I gotta play the hand that's in my hand. I want Sean's hand. I want Stanley's hand. That ain't accepting life on life terms because his hand don't fit mine. You follow me? Yeah. And so I gotta play all them doubles, whether I like it or not. You can't throw in the hand because the throw in the hand is to quit, to run. You know, you just gotta play what's in your hand when life shows up for you. Then he says, unless I accept life completely on life terms, I cannot be happy. Why? Huh? Why can't I be happy? Come on, man.
We're always trying to fix it.
We're always trying to fix it. Too busy worrying.
Making the problem bigger.
Making the problem bigger. Working with no acceptance. All of those are work. I cannot be happy because I have not come to the conclusion that I can't fix it. I forgot who says it. That's probably Rick Warren. He says most of us are still struggling and fighting because we have not yet come to the end of ourselves. That means you still got some fight and some run in you. And when I got some fight and some run still left in me, then there is no okay God. You know that? I'm going to try every possible solution, remedy, witchcraft. You know, we be somewhere crossing our fingers and pinky promising. And I'm going to try everything that I can in my own willpower to fix this. And when all of those are gone, then I finally say, okay, God. Check this out. And ain't really too happy when I say, okay, God. I just used up all my resources. I don't know what else to do. Because when God starts to work, he don't always work according to my plan anyway. So you know what? I'm still feeling the same way. Because God don't always work it out the way I want him to. God don't always deliver in the same way. And so I got to realize that what God is doing is better than what I would have came up with. Mm-hmm. He says, man, I need to concentrate. Not so much on what needs to be changed in the world as to what needs to be changed in me. Check this out. The next one is the big one. In my attitude. Because I do know this about me. That when I got a bad attitude about a situation that I am in, that situation does not get better. It gets worse. Not because the situation is just worse. The situation is exactly the way it's supposed to be. But I got a bad attitude about it. And you know what? I'm kind of enjoying this bad attitude for a moment. No matter how much pain and grief that is causing me. And that situation just drags on. And it drags on because I got a bad attitude about it. Got a bad attitude about it. He says, I need to concentrate on not what needs to be changed in the world, but what needs to be changed in me. The Word of God says that although we live in this world, we are not of this world. You know that? Lean in my chair. We're leaning in my chair. Although we live in this world, true fact ain't it? And this is what I have to come to too. The fact that this world that we live in is exactly the way it's supposed to be.
At this moment.
You know why?
Because we're not from.
You know why?
Because nothing, absolutely nothing happens in God's world by mistake.
Well, true, but the fact
God
that
doesn't want us to get comfortable.
God allowed it. God is allowing whatever takes place out there to take place. In the times of the Bible, with the homongering and the drinking and the incest and the killings and the rapes and the murders, you know, the Bible's rated R. Care how you look at it, it's rated R. But he says, just because I allowed it does not mean that you have to live in it. Or forget that. Not just because I allowed it, you don't have to be of it. That means just because I allowed it, you don't have to partake in what they're doing. Remember, I've given you a way out. Huh? I've given you a way out. That way is me. You got to get with that. That everything they doing out there don't mean that I got to do it. Now, the problem is we like what they doing out there, don't we? Yep. Huh? Yep. We like all of that. Game, hustle, tricking, clubbing, gambling, hanging on the block. We like all that. We do. We just got to admit it. We like it. We like it. But at the end of the day, if it's not pleasing to God, then I probably shouldn't do it.
Is that why God left that boy in the jail?
Yes. Go back to that. So that we would choose him. And he would know that we love him by keeping his commands. But he gave us the freedom of choice. And what we have to realize is that the freedom of choice is not liberty. You know what that says? Just because I have the freedom of choice doesn't give me the liberty to do what I want. God gave us the freedom of choice. And that freedom of choice requires responsibility. It requires being responsible because I do have the freedom of choice. I'm going to tell you another thing. Because there are almost never, sometimes, any immediate consequences, we go with it. You know that? We go with it. See, if there was some immediate consequences, as soon as I thought something and I got one of them, you know, I got 2-piece real good, I'd be like, oh no, let me go sit down somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Or just like Ananias and Sapphira, as soon as I lied and I just, you know, just died on the spot. But because there are no immediate consequences, we think we're really getting away with it, don't we? But the reality is, I'm making this molehill into a mountain.